Back to Cleveland this summer. Special guest Loverboy, part of the Minutemen concert series. They're going to get out to Blossom Monday, July 29th. LiveNation.com will have all of the info for you. This pair of tickets for you for caller 10. Always a party when Sammy's in town. 2 for Sammy Hagar, 216-578-1007. Or 800-348-1007.
The Alan Cox Show.
Podcast anytime on our iHeartRadio app.
Ooh, what's a podcast?
Like a TV show, but without the pictures.
Baby, that's called radio. What you're describing is radio.
And live on the radio weekday afternoons.
On 100.7 WMMS.
If you can hold on a few minutes, you'll have the last chance today to grab $1,000. And then if you can hold on a couple more minutes, you're going to get yourself treated to a report by who I understand is the best sports talker in Cleveland. I mean, that's just according to Cleveland Scene Magazine, which is now part of the Cleveland Magazine family, correct? Didn't they get bought by Cleveland Magazine?
Yes, they did.
Cleveland Scene was kind of on the bubble for a while. I mean, if they were asking the public to kind of help keep them afloat, I was happy to donate to Cleveland Scene. I hope you were too. And then they got bought by whatever company owns Cleveland Magazine. So you have to think that maybe that's good news for them. Those are two very different publications. You know, Cleveland Magazine is really much more hoity and toity than Cleveland Scene Magazine. Now, I guess the true test is whether or not Poundcake could be named Best Sports Talker by Cleveland Magazine, right? If it went that route.
One can only hope. One can only dream.
You think so?
I wouldn't be mad.
It's a dream.
It's a dream of his.
That's what he said.
I want to be universally beloved as the best sports talker in Cleveland. Why would I not want a monopoly on that?
The universe of Cleveland. Yeah. Well, but maybe a monopoly isn't all it's cracked up to be. Right? I mean, once you're a monopoly, the only way to go is down.
Well,
you still want to be kind of this is only partway through your climb.
Oh, cue Miley Cyrus.
No.
Please.
No.
It's part of the clip of the sports break. Please.
It's a tease.
Always gonna be another mountain.
Alan, when I get a bogus offer delivering DoorDash, I call it getting pound caked. What does that mean? What is a bogus offer? What does that mean?
They played themselves. That's what it means.
They played themselves. Yeah, but what does that have to do with you?
They're meaning, like, if they get a bad tip, they're going to say they got pound caked because
a bad tip.
Yeah. And
is that what they mean by offer? A tip offer?
I don't know if there's an offer. You can leave a tip, whatever you want. I don't know what they mean by that.
Maybe an offer means like, hey, do you want to do this run? Do you want to do this order?
Okay, yeah.
Like they get offered the order would be my guess. Because like on Uber and stuff, they can say, no, I'm not going to pick that person up, or I don't want to go that far.
Right,
or
yeah.
Whatever.
Right.
I mean, you could do that with all
I wonder what constitutes a bogus offer. Like, I'm not going to...
Yeah, we need more information.
Yeah,
probably someone not tipping ahead of time. Where they're ordering $100 worth of food and not tipping ahead of time, and they get that offer, and they're like, I'm not taking that.
I mean, the pound cake reference, I assume, is a reference to Pound Cake's stated policy on tipping, but I didn't understand what that. Again, I've never used. I should really, just so I know what people are talking about, I should really use one of these. I should have something delivered to me through DoorDash or Uber Eats.
And again, I don't think
It'll
that's
change your life.
that's
Will
what
it?
you're supposed
Yeah,
to
and be like, oh my God, here's this food that I don't want to eat.
Hey, lukewarm, limp fries.
I'm just gonna leave
Yum.
it till
For
tomorrow when
only
I have an appetite.
$25? You're going to what?
I said, I'm just going to leave it till tomorrow when I have an appetite.
If he does.
Yeah,
If
if
I
I do, you never
I
know.
over
might eat it
food.
next week. I'll nibble on it.
You know, I'm super emo about food, Bill.
Super
According to
emo.
Poundcake.
Yeah.
I'm super dramatic about food.
You're peckish.
Yep. That's the one adjective everybody likes to associate with Alan Cox. In my feels. Super dramatic. Well, listen. Potato, potato. And neither of those sound good right now. I think that I hope that they're right, the thing I was reading this morning, that the age of the self-checkout experiment may be over.
Good.
Because it's just not getting companies what they wanted.
What, people not to steal?
Well, listen, all these, there isn't a company on the planet that really wants people working there, right? If they could get holograms to do this crap for free, they would love that. And so part of this was, let's see how many people we can replace with machines, and this is what you get. And this is like base level. This isn't sophisticated machinery. But when you get rid of cashiers, then you get lines wrapping down the aisles, and then you add in people who can't figure out the kiosk, or they're scanning coupons. That completely defeats the purpose. So for a lot of places, they're like, the self-checkouts are not delivering what we hoped. I was in line last week. I was in the self-checkout line at Target. I had 2 things in my hand, and I'm waiting for one of the self-checkout kiosks to free up because there were no cashiers in the aisles. So it's all none. And there 2 of the people, so there was only like 4 or 5 kiosks for the self-checkout, and I'm just standing there. And 2 of the kiosks were women checking out full carts of stuff.
Nice.
Because there wasn't one cashier lane open.
There was a
Maybe someone
picture.
quit.
So nobody, again, the person doesn't want to do that, right? Everybody knows self-checkout. Some people are in there with like a whole bunch of things, but we all know that's not what it's for. You're trying to get in and get out. That was the promise of these things. But like I said, they're doing it so they don't have to pay people to be cashiers. But when there's nobody cashiering, everybody's got to get in that line. So there was a woman with a cart full of groceries checking out. Not her fault.
Well, if they get rid of the self-checkout, how am I supposed to take a couple pounds off my salad?
I guess you'll have to come up. Listen, scammer's going to scam.
Couple pounds off my salad.
It's a 9-pound salad?
Yeah.
You get that 15-pound salad.
My top don't close. I just push on it. I'm just like,
You got to sit on it like it's luggage you're trying to get on the plane.
like you trying to cheat where they charge you extra if you're at a Chinese buffet and they charge you extra for like crab legs and shrimp. You put the crab legs and shrimp in first, and then you put the lo mein and you put the rice and everything else.
You cover it up
On top of
so
it.
they can't see it.
I mean, I'm not saying how to scam a Chinese buffet, but if you
But don't they see you digging out the crab legs?
No.
Wow.
Mind their business. That's what they do.
Hmm.
I paid my $9.99 for lunch.
Hey, he gets the most out of his money. You can't hate on him for that. Scammer's gonna scam. That's the restaurant's fault that they couldn't conceive of all the workarounds.
Yeah.
He's just taking advantage of the system.
They gonna throw them out anyways.
Let me give you this money here, and then we'll get to the aforementioned Poundcake Sports Break. Last chance today to grab some money. It's $1,000. Next one will be tomorrow morning with RMG, so listen closely and good luck.
This is your chance to bet with the Buzzard Bookie and win $1,000 now. Enter this nationwide keyword at WMMS.com. Cash. That's cash. Enter it now at WMMS.com.
Play ball! This is a Poundcake Sports Break.
In the headlines today, retired American fitness coach Richard Simmons wants to make it clear that he does not give his consent nor has any ties to the biopic on his life. The short film is called The Court Gesture, starring friend to the show, Pauly Shore. It's coming to Sundance this week, so you'll be able to see the reviews in real time. But as far as casting, though, top notch. Do yourself a favor and look up Pauly Shore's Richard Simmons. You will not regret it. So although their resemblance is uncanny, Richard doesn't feel that Pauly is the best man for the job. It's hard to take anything Richard says seriously anymore because he's been a salty little queen with an axe to grind and hasn't been seen or heard from publicly in years. Until now. So we'll see how the movie does. There's a lot of buzz around it, and it might be Oscar-worthy. So we believe in you, Richard, even if you don't believe in yourself. Also, Arnold Schwarzenegger says he experienced an incompetent shakedown from unit custom officials. Damn, even the Terminator can't take advantage of duty-free. Well, apparently, Arnold didn't register some bling and was held up in Munich for 3 hours. Ugh. What a nightmare. To make matters worse, the taxes on the watch was over 10 grand, and as you could imagine, there was no ATM in the airport that could withdraw that much. So do you think they let him go? Nope. They brought a credit card machine to the airport that was capable of making that transaction. So it was large enough, to make a transaction that was large enough, and then Arnold was on his way. But sheesh, he will not be back. Well, actually, I don't know. And lastly, you Browns fans don't get enough of idolizing these players. I'm telling you, I don't know when y'all gonna see that none of them want to be here. Odell Beckham Jr. has gone public about his trade from to the Browns. Says, quote, "To me, whether that's right or wrong or indifferent, it felt like the move had been a bit of spite or like you not finna go somewhere and shine and make us look bad." That quote was in reference to him leaving the Giants. So in other words, he got sent to the Browns as a troll. So here's a clip of that conversation here.
Going into free agency this year, like, I'll tell the truth, like, I wanted to, there's a bit of me that, like, feel like the Giants sent me off. I've said it before, sent me off to Cleveland to die. I could have went to the 49ers. I could have went to the Patriots. I could have went to teams that had, a chance to be great, and that's not what their desire was. Their desire, you can't tell me that this was the best trade package we could have got for you.
You left him here to die, eh? As he sits there in a Cleveland Indians hat, not Guardians hat, Indians hat. So maybe if you were a little more focused on gameplay rather than scat play, maybe the Browns would have stood a chance. But these entitled rich athletes, I just can't. And that, ladies and gentlemen, concludes this Poundcake Sports Break.
Is OBJ, is he into scat?
That was a huge thing. We talked about that.
I'm sure we did, but it didn't spring to my mind when he mentioned that.
There are rumors going around that he used to pay prostitutes to poop on him.
I think you'd have to.
I don't know. Some groupies.
I think I'd do it for free.
Groupies would do it for free.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right.
He doesn't want to go to Browns, but he likes a Brown skid mark on him.
Cleveland to die. Whew.
That's how they feel. That's how
Poundcake's right, man. Nobody's dying unless you're from here. Nobody's dying to go to the Cleveland Browns. They're just not.
He needs to shut up though, because when he was traded here, the team was on a rise, and he wanted to come here because of Jarvis Landry being one of his best friends.
He wanted to play. I mean, if they're like, "Hey, do you want to not play?"
The story.
Huh?
He could have been in control of where he went. He was excited.
Stop making excuses for him, Bill.
I'm not making excuses.
Bill's reaching.
No one wants to come here.
He's acting like it was the worst thing. You come to the city. If you perform in this city, you have a fan base that will love you forever.
But they don't care about that.
Yes, they do, because you can make a living off of them forever.
If you stay there.
If you do well here.
If you stay there, you can make a living off those people.
No, you don't have to stay here. Joe Thomas doesn't live here anymore, and he still has a great relationship with the Cleveland Browns.
No one cares.
But he was with the team forever.
Right.
Odell Beckham Jr.
was
or something.
Where did he move?
Who?
Joe Thomas.
Joe Thomas.
He lives in Wisconsin, where he's from.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Oh, he's from, okay.
Yeah.
But he works with NFL Network, and he travels all around a lot. But he'll come back to town from time to time and
throw us
is
a bone.
worshipped, yeah.
Oh, he are sending me to
No,
Cleveland, man. Y'all
this
fighting me.
no. This is what happened with Odell Beckham Jr. He came to Cleveland and he sucked here, and he blames everybody except himself.
Well,
He was
that's true.
flashy
That
and a
is
drama
part of it.
queen. He didn't want to be here, though, so he didn't show up to play. He was like, I don't like it here. I mean, he was always...
He didn't have to accept a
felt
trade
like he
here.
was better than this city, though. You could tell, just by the way that he acted.
Well, because he was coming from New York. Joe Thomas got drafted by the Browns, and he made himself
Right,
part of the fabric of the team and the city, and that's all great. But a guy like Odell Beckham Jr., who's like kind of a hired gun, the guy was like,
No,
please send me to the Browns. I mean, nobody,
Him and Jarvis Landry were best friends. So when Jarvis Landry came here and then Odell Beckham Jr., he was excited to play with Jarvis Landry. But then he got hurt and underperformed and then whined and complained and acted like the Browns couldn't use him when he was the one that wasn't out there performing well.
And he plays for the Ravens now.
Right. And he's had like mediumly okay season with the Ravens. He hasn't set the world on fire. He did okay with the Rams. He was, with Matthew Stafford, but also Baker played a whole season injured, and so that was tough on everybody.
That's what I'm saying.
You had the COVID
the
year.
dude bounces around.
Right. And he's not exactly like Mr. Great locker room guy. He was complained in New York. He was in New York. He could have stayed in New York.
Yeah.
Who doesn't want to be in New York? But he goes, they don't know how to use me here. I can't. If you can't do it in New York, then where do you need to go, buddy?
Well, I think that was part of his point, is he was like, they could have dealt me to another major market team. They didn't do that.
He could have said, I'm not going to go to the Browns.
Right.
He could have said, if you trade me the Browns, I'm not going to play.
Right.
But he can't. He showed up and he played and he acted like he was excited, and then he's changing the story all these years later.
He had to get his money. He got to get his paper. They were paying. Cleveland paid top dollar for Deshaun Watson, who played a half a season.
Not even.
They paid him $250 million because I guarantee you he probably said, if I have to go
Yes,
to Cleveland, I'm
I
not gonna
know
play.
all of that.
So he probably didn't go, and they were like, we'll give you $250, the biggest
Well,
contract ever.
No, it was $230, and it was guaranteed, and that's when he changed his mind.
Yeah,
I
would make
understand
anybody
that.
change their mind.
Right.
And even with all that, even with everything he's been through, he's like, I'd rather get another lawsuit than stay and play for y'all.
Catch another body.
What are you talking about? He's still on the team.
Yeah, he's still on the team for now till he gets traded.
But he's not.
Nobody's going to eat
nobody's
that
gonna
contract.
trade it for him.
There's rumors of that. They want to unload him. Nobody's
for
going
the
to eat
best,
that.
for the best,
I would love
Cleveland's
that.
best sports talker. It seems like Poundcake doesn't really know
walking
much
a fine
about
line.
He
sports.
doesn't know much about sports.
Well, I didn't know what the Arnold Schwarzenegger story had to do with sports, but it's your segment, so.
Wait a minute. Well, because he was a weightlifter, duh. Here's my question.
Really, pretty much.
If they're trying to unload Deshaun, the only way that would happen is if someone else buys out his contract.
Part of it.
Well, they'd have to agree to take on that contract. Yeah, not buyout, but it would be.
But they would
you-
have
you
to pay
can't-
him.
If the
if
the
he
Browns
still
have to
has-
pay him no matter what. If they trade him, then they can get another team to take on that contract.
It's like dead money. They'd have to
Yeah.
get like $70 million or something.
God, they make me so mad.
Joe Thomas recently moved to Germany, I'm being told, because he's coaching a team there.
Okay. But still beloved
Well,
by the
jawohl!
Cleveland fan base.
Yeah, absolutely. Beloved. I know he's in one of these commercials, and I'm like, everybody else retires from football and turns into a blob of crap. Joe Thomas goes the other way.
Got hot.
Guy's shredded. Yeah.
He told me I was funny once. He came and saw the Sklar brothers at Hilarities, and I
Bro,
was
I got
opening
his
for
phone
them.
number.
And he shook my hand and was like, "You're really funny." And I was like, "This is the end of my life. This is the best day." Joe Thomas thinks I'm funny.
This
give
is
me
the
give
end
me
of
the
my
give me the keys to Cleveland. I'm the mayor now.
I could text him right now.
Don't.
Ask him.
Why do you got to do that to me? Just let me have my moment.
I'm just saying, we both know Joe Thomas.
No,
Annoying.
no more moments for you. You got free tacos, free ice cream.
Okay.
I-
I had
I-
a really good day.
I
had a
don't
really
know.
good
I
day.
don't know Joe Thomas, so you guys are one up
We
on
talked
me.
to him on the show.
But I don't know him.
You know him from that.
I don't know. That doesn't constitute me knowing him.
It's like being
I've
his
never
best
met the
friend.
guy. I see. Right. Oh, we're best pals. He didn't even tell me he was moving to Germany. What's going on?
I know I'm a little blindsided by this, Joe.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't send a text. You got my number saved.
I've got to take a break here. Thank you, Poundcake. If you want to send me a text, 35192. Listen wherever you are.